life, right in the middle of everything. We saw no beginnings, we saw no ends. Even the final whistle of a game simply indicated that there was another one around the corner. Our journey has continued long after November 22nd, 1967. And one of his lasting lessons is a very simple statement. It's never about only you. And today is a perfect example of that. This day is about Teedie. It's for Teedie. It's to celebrate Teedie and all he means to us. But he never would have shown up if it wasn't for you. You bet your booties he's here. He used a plaque and a street sign as an excuse to throw another party. Some of you may have already felt his presence. His shape or form is no longer of consequence, but his message is timeless, and that is that all the energy around us and over us and in us is connected. We are one. He taught me this, and it becomes so much clearer at a time like this because we feel as one. And the very special Spirit who shared with us all his light and love before he passed gives it to us all over again. Would he miss this party? I don't think so. He loves each and every one of us, and we love him right back. 43 years melts in the blink of an eye when the love is this strong. I know we have some residents of Stephen Smith Drive here. I want to thank you for being a part of this. You have the most special of spirits watching over your home front, and we want you to know that. To be honest, some of us are a little envious, but I think we'll get over it. We just hope that you'll treasure the privilege and take from it all it offers. You got yourself the best century ever. To the public servants of Putnam Valley, Henry referred to, they made this celebration what it is. They felt it from the start, as Bob Teedie mentioned. The red tape disappeared, and all the complications with it. Henry was always met with a simple response. We can do that. And at a time when leaders and role models seem often lost at sea, it's refreshing to see good leadership alive and well in small-town America. We can't thank you enough for your kindness and for the example you set. Of course, we had some pretty powerful representation at the bargaining table. Henry and Jackie Weiss have spent decades researching Jackie's roots, and now it was Henry's turn. And they took a germ of an idea and let it carry them to this defining moment. They lost a trip to Europe when they reached New York City, and volcanic ash canceled flights, including theirs. How does that happen? Volcanic ash?
Teedie planned it.
Can't think of any other reason. So they traded Europe for Putnam Valley. And they took a ride into the country, and the germ of an idea took on a life of its own. Henry and Jackie made their pitch. Bob Teedie listened. Bob made some suggestions. Henry and Jackie listened. You remember in junior high civics class how we were taught this is how it was supposed to work? I guess it still does once in a while. Henry filled in the blanks, Jackie created the program, and for it all, we owe them our deepest gratitude. Thank you, Henry and Jackie. Now I need a favor from some of you. Some of you are already up front, but if you were a veteran who served in the Vietnam era, I want you to come up front and center with the gentlemen that are already here. Anybody who served in the Vietnam era.
No promise. I thought it was not good. Hi. You did a good job. Thank you. Steve Marley.
I'm so glad you did that on your own. The Vietnam era revealed some of the best and worst in our nation. We as a generation learned how to voice our opposition to a war that was never declared. But in our protest, we committed one of the biggest war crimes in the history of this nation. We took it out on you. You wore the uniform and you represented this country as those before you and those after you. They were and are appreciated, revered, thanked for their service. You were not. Some, like Teedie, gave their lives following orders just like any true soldier would. You did too. I don't know how Teedie would have responded to the cruelty that some of you endured simply for following directions. Some of you have carried the rejection with you for all these years. You were forced to grow up before your time, put in extremely stressful circumstances, and ended your stretch unappreciated at the least, and sometimes even vilified. Well, today, some 40 to 45 years late, we want to first apologize for neglecting our duties while you fulfilled yours. And second, to thank you for your service and recognize you for the heroes you were and are. In my book, you all deserve medals of honor. But I hope our belated gratitude will ease at least some of the load that you've carried for so long. Thank you again. We can get Joanne and Debbie up here now. Just watch this. I'm getting better. So where do you live? Watch your stuff. Just watch your stuff. For those of you who don't know, these are Teedie's sisters, Joanne and Debbie. When we were all too young to deal properly with Teedie's death, these two beautiful women were my sisters. And for too long, we held separately to our connections to Teedie and our memories of each other. Today we're family again. And despite some personal challenges we've all experienced, we still feel the optimism of Teedie's spirit, and we smile at the memories. They remember sitting on the hamper, watching Teedie get ready for a date. He taught them how to wash properly, and he danced as he splashed on the JDs.
You bet your booty.
I remember too, because I was right behind him taking notes. They remember a brother significantly older than them, yet proud to ride them in his '56 Chevy through town. And they thought he was the mayor, because almost every car would honk and wave. I used to feel the same way when I walked with him. They rarely saw him angry. He and I never had a fight in the whole time we knew each other. In our eyes, he could do no wrong. He made us smile. He made us laugh. He made us feel much more than we ever were. Many of you remember him the same way. And like Henry said, we can share those memories at the bowling lanes after this ceremony. And I really hope you'll all do that, because I think that'll be cathartic for everybody. We're hoping that the plaque we're about to unveil, this memorial to a star, will invite others who share it to feel Teedie's warmth and spirit. We also hope memorials like this will be a thing of the past, as more and more of us force our energy towards peace. He meant so much to those of us who knew him, and he still does. And we're happy to share him. There's certainly enough to go around. So without further ado, can we have Joanne and Debbie take the... Love you too, huh? Let's take a look at this plaque. I'll read it when they unveil it, so those of you who can't see it will know what it says. Ready? Go ahead, yep. I'll just read you the inscription because everybody knows his name. To friends and family, an eternal beacon of light. To a grateful nation, the truest of heroes. And to the world, an abiding reason for peace. We miss him still. Just in closing, when Henry and I had this vision, we thought it was going to be Henry, I, our wives, and Joanne and Debbie. Teedie had a little something to say about that, and it's just been a trip through memory lane. There are people here that Teedie and I grew up playing with, to people who knew him in more serious times during the war, to people who are here simply to honor another fallen vet who didn't know him, but certainly respected what he did. And the energy here is something I hope everybody takes home. I hope especially the vets of that era feel good about your participation. I wish I could lay claim to the idea of honoring you, but I'm not that bright. Again, Teedie kind of tapped me on the shoulder and said, it's not always about you. So welcome to the celebration. Your name's not on the plaque, thank God, but you're certainly honored and appreciated. And see you at the bowling alley. There are some obviously Teedie's sister Debbie put together some beautiful collages. They'll be at the bowling alley as well. Teedie's medals are down here for display. Do that in your own private way and enjoy this before we leave. Some of you, most of you will probably never be here again, so take the time before you leave. Thank you.
So just take a look.
Did you get the
No.
That'd be great.
Can you put one of your
Steal everything on me.
So glad to have you.
So many people are facing Brendan Mills and Wappingers.
I'm Bob.
Yeah.
I'm the other Bob.
Yeah, we lived in that house right there for quite some time. That's the house.